Okay, I'm working on some waterproofing details. Got a lot of it installed and covered over. Some of it here is still uncovered. I'm trying to catch you in the middle. So there's a perforated drain pipe under these rocks, and the rocks are all on top of this fabric, and the rocks are to create a airspace around the pipe to catch water. And we pre-sloped all of the soil and compacted it down, so everything has a slope to it all the way around, and then the entire run has a little grade to it, and it goes all the way down the side over here. It's a slight grade. It's like somewhere between like level and on the edge of the line of the level. So this is graded all the way down to the outside here, and then actually under the footer I sleeved these sleeves. You can see one here, one here. The sleeves go under the footer because of the frost depth. These water lines need to be down. There's 2 more over there and 4 more over here, and we bury those water lines up to here. I'm going to sort this mess out shortly. But those sleeves come out below the frost, and then this one is stubbed up here just outside the edge of the waterproofing. So the way that we're doing it is we put the gravel down, we pre-sloped everything, put the gravel down, and then we close this fabric like a little burrito. And then over top of the entire assembly, we have one more layer. You can see here, it's like one more layer over the top, just to make sure that this little closure, sometimes this fabric doesn't get closed enough or something like that. And making sure we keep the dirt out of the rocks. So we bricked up these openings where the step footer was, and then waterproofed those and closed them up. So we can go, the waterproofing is ongoing, of course, as you can see, but we can come down through here, the counterforts. This counterfort, we weren't able to dig through the rock, and it just wasn't necessary, so we put the little foundation for it up here. And then here's more pipe, as you can see. And the waterproofing comes down across the top of the footer, and we've pre-filled all of the joint here with the footer. You can see a little bit of the pre-fill caulking here is a different color, and then the waterproofing on the footer. And we cleaned all the footer and took out all the pieces of wood from the forms and everything. And we're using this Polyguard product. I don't recommend it because it smells so bad, but I hate bad smells. So this got a little messy in the wind last night, but you can see the pre-slope like this down to the drain, and then this drain is sloped from a peak in the center of the wall over here, some that way and some this way. So each one of these counterforts has a drain rock system that comes up here. You can see a little bit of it here. So each counterfort is also drained down to the foundation here. And then this foundation drain going across this way is the same rock situation with the perforated pipe. And then this is the overlay to protect it. This one wrapped over really good. And then this is where it goes through, and then we're covering it over with soil. We happen to have this spectacular, easy to work with soil, which has a lot of sand in it. So we're putting that on the drain fabric, A, to hold it down for the wind, and B, so that the excavation operations don't mess up the work that we've done. So each one of these has a little burrito laying next to it of rocks up each side of each counterfort. And then this filter fabric here, we're gonna pull this dirt back by jiggling the fabric a little bit, but the dimple mat is gonna run vertically down the wall and then curl underneath of that, and then that's gonna go back on it, the fabric. But it's really windy today, so the guys just started putting dirt on the footer there. It's totally fine. And also this waterproofing here is going to extend out to this point here. We're going to over waterproof the counterforts for some distance. Oh, here's a little prep. You can see the void filling, like a void like this, prior to the waterproofing going on. This tree here, you can see this tree here. So this counterfort is lower because the soil is lower around this tree. So the waterproofing is lower here for the same reason. Oh. So here's the step footing again, drops down, and this is the waterproofing over top of the hole that we bricked up. And outside here, there's a pre-install of 2 sleeves with 1.5-inch conduits that run over to here. And this giant piece of, I think it's HDPE pipe, is just holding some earth and making a mark for these water lines that come out here. There's 2 there and 2 on this side, and then these 2, and then we have a cistern going in here for rainwater catchment, and then that's gonna have another drain line that runs out to daylight for its overflow. You can see here the water lines coming in, and then they're buried here. They're only buried because we're backfilling this with rocks, and I don't want the rocks to damage them. So this is a reminder to install the radon vent. So this is where the radon vent is going to come up here. It's just going to go out there with a bunch of holes in it. And then the interior of the foundation here has its own drain pipe that's roughed in through the bricks here. And then it's going to make a run up to here, and then a 90, and then it's going to run out there. And what we're going to do is we're going to pre-slope all of this earth here and make it a nice slope down to the drain, and then from that footer this way it's going to have a slope back. And the same thing here, it's going to slope to the drain, and then that'll slope to the drain here. And the idea of this is, if you remember in a previous video, we had this pump in this hole here because this foundation filled up with water, and it's not getting any better now that we've bricked up the only 2 openings in the wall and are sealing off all these conduits, for instance, here. So having a drain to daylight here is really important, because we're going to be working on the gravel that we put in here for months, and it's going to snow and rain on it, and all that water is not going to be able to get out. So this drain pipe here is going to take the water out of the inside, and it doesn't connect with the foundation drain on the outside, because I don't want to be pumping all of the water, or funneling all the water from here just out to the outside of the footer, because if it overflows out of the little swoop on the bottom of the pipe, then it'll just be putting water at my footer, which I also don't want. So it's solid pipe from here out, down, and then into this spot right here, which runs down like this, and then 45s, and then T's in with this Y, or I guess Y's in with this Y, in solid pipe all the way. So the inside drain for the building ties in down here, way downstream of the foundation drain tie-in. So the foundation drain tie-in, there's one Y right here that comes from the drain on this side. So the drain runs down and then comes 45, and then Y is in here and then is in this pipe. And then on this side, it comes down 45, and then this is actually just the pipe. So keeping that interior water away from the footer also is important. So we have a rough in here, a PEX for the well connection, and you can see the electric conduit for the same, and it stops at this rebar, and we're gonna dig it up in the future, but it's away from the foundation drain, so we won't be messing up any of the foundation drain to connect to that in the future. So that's the waterproofing that we're doing so far. And like I said, the waterproofing is ongoing. We have, this is our filler for pre-filling any gaps. It's also a Polyguard product, comes in the sausage. We shoot it with this Tajima sausage gun, which I really like. And that's gonna go more on this seam here, where the concrete's cold, where the footer and the wall meet. So all of this is gonna get caulked off. We're gonna pull this back like this and hit it with the leaf blower, and then re-caulk, or not but initially caulk all this. Like I said, we got a little bit ahead because of the wind, and I just wanted to hold down this fabric with the dirt. But we'll be adding that caulking, and then the exterior waterproofing on the outside here. Only up a little bit. You can see where the board form stops here. That's kind of where the dirt is. Just 2 inches above that is the dirt. Oh look, you can see some unconsolidated concrete that happened in just the most inopportune location here. So that's spectacular. But I think we're gonna get that fixed up too. You can see little bitches and spatches out there. It's pretty good up here though, which is nice because it's easier to work on the lower side. And there's the cantilevered concrete beam, so we're gonna hanger trusses off of that. I think we're gonna fabricate some custom steel hangers or something. But our floor trusses, and then we have a 24-inch rim, 24-inch LVL on the outside here. So it's pretty cool. It's the first leg of our cantilever. And yeah. So that's where we're at. We broke the tabs on this side of the concrete. There you go. This side turned out pretty good. So we snapped all the tabs, and then we adjusted all of the joints between the boards with a hammer. You know, you can see some of the grain in there. Even some of the wood is still in there. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Board form has turned out pretty nice. Anyway, thanks for looking.